Okay, so thanks ever so much for joining me today. It's great to have so many people come along. It's obviously a topic that's of interest. I'm going to be talking about how to set up an online giving page for your church, and also talking about how to use QR codes with your online giving page. So first of all, my name's Janet Edmond. I'm the Senior Stewardship Officer for the Diocese of Leeds. You'll see my contact details here. I'm also happy to say that my new colleague, Beth Vickers, has recently joined me just in the last 2 weeks, actually, as our new Stewardship Officer for the Diocese. So we now have 2 of us in the stewardship team, which is great. So there's my contact details and Beth's contact details there as well, if you need to get in touch with us at any time. So today I'm going to be talking about, this is an agenda for today, a loose agenda. I'm going to be talking about what online giving is. Then I'm going to talk in a bit more detail about how to actually set up an online giving page. Then I'm going to introduce you to Give a Little, which is a donation software which you would use to create your online giving page, or as we call it, a web campaign. I'll also be talking about using QR codes, what they are, how you use them. I'll also mention how you can set up online giving with the parish giving scheme. You can have an online giving page with them. I'll explain how you can create a donate button on your church's A Church Near You page. And then I'll finish with talking about promoting online giving. And then at the very end, I'll stop sharing my screen and we will have questions and answers at the end. So if you do have any questions as you go along and you want to remember them, you can write them in the chat box, or you can just note them down and then we can look at them at the end. So first of all then, what is online giving? Well, online giving is a fantastic opportunity, or it's a mechanism that will enable people to actually give instantly to your church through your church website or your social media page, like your Facebook page, and they don't actually have to come into the church to do so. So it's a great way to maybe capture donations from people who are not part of your worshiping community. And there are people who are in the wider community. I just see that somebody is putting something in a chat box. That's absolutely fine. I'll just hide that again so that you don't have a grey screen. I think it covers some of the information on the screen. Anyway, so that's what online giving is. It's a way to encourage people to give to your church without actually coming into the church itself. And it's a form of digital giving, just like contactless giving machines are a form of digital giving. Online giving, or having an online giving page, is another form of digital giving. Online giving, an online giving page can be accessed online through somebody's computer or tablet, but they can also access your page through their mobile phone, through the internet. And when they get to your online giving page, donors can actually use their credit card or the debit card, or in some cases, they can use Google Pay and Apple Pay on their phones now as well to make a donation to you. They can make a one-off donation to your online giving page, or in some cases, they can actually make regular donations because there's a function on the online giving page that will allow them to select give regular donations as well. And I'll show you that as we go through. So that's what online giving is. The importance of digital giving can't really be overestimated in today's climate. We are living in an increasingly cashless society, and people are not carrying as much cash around. And they prefer, in some ways, to give by contactless donation. We're doing that in shops now. We're paying for things using contactless devices, and we've been doing that for a long time. And people prefer to just use their card to make a donation. So apart from just having a contactless device at your church, you should also think about having an online giving page set up for your church. Now, this graph here, which has come from the National Digital Team, shows roughly what the average giving is per contactless donation or per online giving donation. So you can see there that the first two bars on the graph show what the average contactless donation is. The default one at the top is if people only have a couple of options on the contactless machine, a couple of options of what they are going to donate, maybe £5 or £10. The average taken seems to be about £6. The second bar is if people have maybe 3 or 4 different donation amounts that they can give, or they can give their own amount, they can choose to put in their own amount, they tend to give more and give about £10 per donation. But contrast this with how much people tend to give if it's an online donation to an online page. This is not through contactless, this is going straight to your online giving page. The average single donation is about £40. Now, you've got to think that this is an average. This is not just churches. This is just, all average online donations. So if you think about, you might have a Just Giving page where you're doing a charity run and people are donating. But the fact is that people do tend to give more when it's an online giving page. So it's definitely a good idea for churches to have their own online giving page set up for their own fundraising campaigns. Now, setting up an online giving page. Now, you can do this with lots of different providers, but I'm going to concentrate today on talking about setting up an online giving page with parish buying. Parish buying are the procurement arm of the Church of England, and parish buying have their own website. And I'm going to talk you through how you can set up your online giving page by going through the parish giving website to do so. Now, the picture that you can see here with it says St. Peter's Church, Shipley. This is an example of what an online giving page would look like for your church. You've got the name of the church at the top. You've then got some text saying what the donations are for. Here it's towards the mission of the church, but it could equally be a fundraising campaign to raise money to repair the roof of the church. Here you've got a single or monthly option for your donation. So the donor can actually move this, toggle this across to monthly if they wanted to give a monthly donation. And when they give the donation every month, it would come out as a monthly donation. It's not a direct debit, it's just a monthly donation directly from their debit card or credit card. And then they've got the option to give either 10, 20, 50 or £100 donation. So that's what it would look like. But you can make it look different through the software that I'm going to show you. But first of all, what you need to do to set up your online giving page is to register for the parish buying website. And you can do that through this link here on the screen. Now, once you're registered for parish buying, you need to log in to parish buying. And once you're logged in using your username and password, you go to the online giving section on the page. And this link here for online giving will take you directly to the correct page that you need to be in. But you have to be logged in to parish buying before you do that. What you will find on this online giving page is you will find step-by-step instructions on how you can create, first of all, a Give a Little account, okay? And then you will have step-by-step instructions on how to create either a Stripe account or a SumUp account. Now, I know that it can be quite confusing, but there are step-by-step instructions talking you through how to do this. Now, I'm going to explain what each of these accounts is for. First of all, you will set up a Give a Little account. The Give a Little account is actually a donation software account. It's free to have this account. And when you've got your Give a Little account set up, you will be able to create this page for your online giving page. So you will be able to create all of this. And I'm going to show you a video shortly of how this works. But that's what the Give a Little account enables you to do. It enables you to create your giving page. You also need to set up either a Stripe account or a SumUp account. Now, these accounts You only need one of these, but these accounts are the payment processing accounts. Now, what that means is that when somebody donates on your online giving page, the donation goes directly to either Stripe or SumUp first of all, and then they will take a transaction fee from that donation. So you're not paying anything for the donation, but the donation that's being given to you, a transaction fee will be taken from that donation before they then put the money into your church's bank account. Okay, so you need to have the Stripe account or the SumUp account to handle the donations and to put the money into your bank account and to take the transaction fee from your donations. Now, Stripe, do you have a Stripe account or a SumUp account? I know you're asking this question. Stripe only works for online giving pages. It doesn't work with contactless devices. Now, your church may already have a contactless device, and you may already have a SumUp account, and your SumUp account for your contactless device is handling all the donations. So Stripe won't work with a contactless device. So if you don't have a contactless device and you don't intend to get a contactless device, I would recommend just having a Stripe account. If you do have a contactless device, or you're planning to get a contactless device and you want to have an online giving page, I would recommend going for SumUp. The difference is, though, that Stripe, which only handles the online giving page donations, has a lower transaction fee of 1.1%, whereas SumUp, for an online giving page, the transaction fee is 1.95%. Okay. So I'm talking about Give a Little as the online giving provider, but there are others available. Give a Little works with parish buying, and you get a very good transaction rate with Give a Little through parish buying. You can see on this table here a number of other giving providers, like Just Giving, like Easy Fundraising. Give a Little is at the top here, and their transaction rate is 1.95% for every transaction that comes through your online giving page. They don't charge anything else per transaction. So as an example, if somebody donated £10 to you, the transaction rate on that at 1.95% would be 20 pence. Okay, if you contrast that with Just Giving, they have a lower transaction rate at 1.9%, but they also charge an extra 20 pence for every donation that comes through. So you can see that the overall cost for the other giving providers is higher than the Give a Little cost. So that's why we're recommending that you set up your online giving page through parish buying with Give a Little. So I'm going to talk about using Give a Little now. So as I said, Give a Little is actually a donation software which allows you to create this sort of page for your website, for your on your online giving page, which can be on your you can point to on your website or on a Church Near You page. Now, we also call your online giving page a web campaign, so don't be confused if I refer to this as a web campaign. Now, when you set up your Give a Little account, you will set up a premium Give a Little account through parish buying. That premium account is free. It's being subsidised by the Archbishop's Council at the moment. It normally costs £10 a month. Now, Archbishop's Council are subsidising the full cost of the premium Give a Little account until the end of this year, and it's possible that they will continue to subsidise that going forward. Now, what the premium account allows you to do is it allows you to have gift aid on all your donations. So when a donor gives a donation, they can also gift aid their donation. Now, if at the end of this year, the Archbishop's Council don't continue to subsidise the Give a Little account, you can drop down automatically to the standard account, which is free. But if you wanted to continue with the premium account, you could pay that £10 every month and continue to have the gift aid. The standard account doesn't allow you to have gift aid, unfortunately. However, the Archbishop's Council actually started to subsidise the Give a Little account, the premium Give a Little account, during lockdown, and they've continued to do so. So fingers crossed that at the end of this year, they will continue to subsidise that for churches. So if you go to this link, which is on the page that I showed you earlier, which is on the online giving page on the Parish Buying website, and there are links to this throughout on this presentation, you will find step-by-step instructions on how to use Give a Little to create this campaign. You will be able to create a layout like this. You'll be able to change the background colours. You can put your own donation amounts in there, and you can upload images as well. And also you can create a thank you message as well. And you will be able to download your QR code, which links to this particular online giving page. And as I said earlier, the premium Give a Little account also has the gift aid function. And there is a report function on the Give a Little software that you can use as well to see what gift aid has been, which donations are eligible for gift aid. And this is what the Give a Little dashboard looks like on the software. When you log in, you will see this along the top with reports, campaigns, donors, devices. You can click on these ones individually, depending on what you want to do. I've clicked on the reports function here, and you can see that you can click again into gift aid, and it will give you a report with all of the donations that have come through that are eligible for gift aid, which you can then download as part of your claim for gift aid to HMRC. Now I'm going to play you this little video, which is basically shows you how Give a Little works. It's quite fast, but it gives you an idea of how you can set up your web campaign, and it also starts to talk about the QR codes. So hopefully that little video there gave you a flavour of how Give a Little works. I know it was very fast, but it shows you how you can set up a layout for your online giving page or your web campaign and actually put in the donation amounts. And then it talked at the end about using the QR codes. Now, a QR code, I'm sure you've all seen QR codes, but just to explain what they are made up of lots of little black and white squares. And you can see on the picture here on the right, there is an example of a QR code here. Now, this is actually an image file as well. And so you can download that image, that QR code image, that you can use then on printed materials, such as posters and things. But when you're setting up your campaign with Give a Little, when you're setting up your fundraising campaign, it automatically creates your QR code for you that links directly to that campaign. Okay, so you don't have to create the QR code yourself. It is created for you automatically when you are creating your web campaign. Okay, and you will have access to that QR code, which you can then download it. Because it's an image file, you can download it as an image, and then you can put the QR code onto posters. It might be pew cards that you're using. You might have an order of service that you can put your QR code into as well. And the QR code then will take people directly to your online giving page where they can donate. Now, with Give a Little, you can create multiple web campaigns. You could have a general giving campaign that you've created, and you would have a QR code for that one. You could also at the same time create a roof fundraising campaign where you're trying to raise money to repair the roof, and you'd have a separate QR code for that one as well. So you could have a couple of campaigns at the same time going on, and in your church you would have different QR codes for each campaign. You could have a poster for your roof campaign and a poster for general giving. So the key thing though is that Give a Little allows you to create lots of different campaigns. Okay. So moving on. When the video was playing, you may have caught sight of this screen here relating to downloading the QR code. So this is a screen in the Give a Little dashboard, and we looked at reports previously. This time it's in campaigns. Once you've created your campaign, you get to a stage where you publish the campaign. And when you've published it, it means it's live. And then you have access to these different ways of sharing your web campaign. You have a link that you can copy. There's a URL link here. You can copy that link and put it onto your website, for instance. You could also download the QR code from this page. You could, if you have a Twitter account and you use Twitter, you can click on the Twitter button there and it will give you a post that you can use on Twitter. The same with LinkedIn and Facebook. There's a ready-made Facebook post that you can just put onto Facebook. And what these are all doing is that these are allowing people to use those links to get to your online giving campaign. And these are all created automatically for you in Give a Little when you set up your online giving page. So just to summarize again, someone will scan your QR code either using their smartphone or their tablet. Some of the new phones have a camera in them that automatically scans QR codes. Other people might have phones where they've had to download an app, which is a QR code reader. But the fact is that it's easy to actually scan these QR codes, and it's quick to get to your online giving page using the QR codes. And also, this is what it looks like. You scan the QR code, it then takes you directly to this page, which is your online giving page. Okay, and then you're able to donate. So that's a quick run through really of how you set up an online giving page using Give a Little and either SumUp or Stripe. And as I said, in the links on the presentation, when you get the PDF, you'll be able to look at the step-by-step instructions as to how you actually go about doing that. And they are very clear and good, but I can give you additional help with those as well. And I'll explain how at the end. But I wanted to talk briefly about the parish giving scheme at this stage. Now, the parish giving scheme is for regular, mainly as a regular planned giving website, and people give regularly through the parish giving scheme using a direct debit. But at the beginning of this year, they introduced a new feature with the parish giving scheme, and it was actually a one-off giving function. Now, this is an example of a landing page, we call it, for a parish who has already registered with the parish giving scheme. This example is Farsley St John's in Leeds. And you can see they've registered with the parish giving scheme, and they have a button here which allows people to click on the regular giving button, and they can set up a direct debit to give regularly to the church. But they also have a one-off gift button. This is the new development. So if people come to this page, they can click on the one-off gift button, and they can set up, they can give a one-off gift to St John's. Now, what they can also do, what I should say is, if you're not registered with the parish giving scheme, you will still have this page for your church, but it won't say that people can give now. There won't be a regular giving button. There won't be a one-off gift button. It will just say register your interest, and the donor could just click on register your interest. That then tells the parish giving scheme team that somebody wants to donate to that particular church, but they're not registered with the PGS. They would then let me know that this church is missing out on a donation. I would then contact the church and say, somebody wants to donate to you. Have you thought about joining PGS? Because if you do, somebody can then set up their gift. So even if you're not registered with the PGS, people can still register interest to give to you. If you're not registered with the PGS, I would strongly recommend that you think about registering with the PGS. It's free to do so. And even if you don't want to use the PGS for regular giving, you could still have this one-off gift feature, and people could give you one-off gifts. Okay, so it's worth having that, because you may not want to set up an online giving page through Parish Buying and Give a Little, but you could, just by registering with PGS, have an online giving function page there where people can give you a one-off gift. The difference, though, is that people will not, you will not be able to create fundraising campaigns in the same way that you can with Give a Little. It is just this. People could just go to the parish giving scheme page and they can just make a gift to you. You can't edit it or customize it in any way, but it is still a really good thing to have. So the other great thing about the PGS page and the one-off gift function is that there is a QR code that comes with it. Now, if you were to scroll down to the bottom of your parish landing page, you would find the QR code for downloading. And that QR code links directly to your PGS page on the PGS website. So again, you could use the QR code, you can download it, you can put it on printed materials. Just like you could do on Give a Little, you have the QR code to link people directly to your online giving page. So just a little bit more information about the parish giving scheme and online giving. The one-off gift is made in a single transaction using a debit or credit card. It's nothing to do with direct debits, it's just a one-off gift, okay? The transaction rate per gift per donation is actually 1.5%. So that's actually less than if you have a Give a Little and Sum Up account, because that was a 1.95% transaction rate. So it's actually it's better with the parish giving scheme. It costs less. And also the other benefit of the parish giving scheme is that if you have a one-off gift through parish giving scheme and it's eligible for gift aid, you can have that free gift aid function. You're not having to have the premium Give a Little account. So that is free to have that, and the parish giving scheme team will actually process that gift aid for you and put it into your bank account along with the donation. Okay, so the parish giving scheme team would actually claim the gift aid from HMRC and put the donation and the gift aid into your bank account, and it would show on your bank statements in this way. I'm sure you might have questions about that later, but that's fine. So promoting your online giving page is really important, because you've set up an online giving page. You need to let people know that it's there. Now, the PGS have also created a number of posters that you can download and use, easy to use, to help you promote your online giving page with the PGS. This is an example of one of the posters, and it leaves a space at the bottom there where you can put your URL, which is the URL that links to your PGS landing page where people can give, or you can drop your QR code into this space here, and you can use that as a poster to promote your online giving page. Here's another example where it clearly says, you know, on the poster, make a one-off gift to your church. You can put your QR code in there, and it's a way of promoting your online giving. Just in there is a QR code. Okay. If you wanted to actually look at these posters, and there's quite a few different printed materials that you can download really easily, you can go to the PGS link at the bottom here for those resources. So promoting is really important. You can share your links to your online giving page widely. You really need to do that to make people aware that it's there. And as I said, Give a Little allows you all of these different ways of actually sharing your link to your online giving page. Another way that you can promote your online giving page is you can actually, if you don't have a website, for instance, but you want to have a link on a website, you can use a church near you page. Every church has their own profile page, and you can actually add a Give Now button onto a church near you page. Here's an example. This is what it would look like. And when people click on that, it takes them to this online giving page. Now, there is a video that you can actually watch. It's about a few minutes long, explaining how you can do that, and there's a link to the video there. If you don't want to have that kind of button on a church near you page, you can have this more complicated one, which actually has the donation amounts visible. And when people click on this one, it takes them straight to the payment screen. So again, there is an instruction leaflet explaining how you go into your church near you page and actually create that Give Now button. So finally, I wanted to play you another video, which just, actually, this is a video which you can download and use, and you can customize it. And you can use this particular video on your own website, on your own Facebook page. If you stream any services, you can play this video at the end. And what it does is it explains why giving is important. And, you know, at the end of the video, you can customize it yourself. There's a link there explaining how you can customize this video and put your own details on there for your church. And at the end of the video, you could put your QR code or your URL link. So I'll just play this to you now.
Our church's ministry and mission has never been more needed. Meeting online or in church for prayer services and fellowship, loving our neighbours by offering practical support to the vulnerable, and caring for our communities. The work of our church is reliant on people's generosity, and we are so grateful for all the gifts we receive. This generosity is a hallmark of a lived-out faith and a testament to it. If you are able to give to us now, here's how you can help.
So that's where you would add in your details.
Our church's ministry.
So finally then, I said earlier, that it can be quite confusing setting up online giving. There's a lot of things to think about. I've given you in this presentation links to the places on the Parish Buying website where you can find step-by-step instructions, but I do realise that it could still be a bit of a minefield and a bit confusing to start. I'm running digital clinics on a monthly basis. And I do them around the diocese in different episcopal areas. So look out the dates for the next clinics, which you can book a one-to-one session with me. And I can talk you through this in more detail on an individual basis. If you can't come to any of the digital clinics, I'm more than happy for you to contact myself or my colleague Beth, and you can book an appointment, either a Zoom session like this, where we can talk you through things, or you can come for a meeting at Church House, and we can talk you through on a one-to-one basis. So it's time now for questions. I'm going to just stop sharing, and hopefully you'll all come back with your cameras. I hope that was, I couldn't see any of you when I was doing that, so I'm hoping that everybody was able to see all of that. I'm just going to have a look to see there isn't any questions in the chat function. So if anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask me, I'm happy to answer any questions. So, Barbara.
Yes. I just looking at, obviously we haven't had a chance to look at everything in detail, but if we are on the PGS scheme, it looks at first glance as though that might be the obvious option to take, because you don't have to set up any new accounts or anything like that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that is a good option. If you don't want to, the one thing about the PGS online giving is that you don't have the ability to customize it in any way. So it is just a one-off giving function. So people can just give you a one-off gift. You couldn't set up a campaign, for instance, to raise money for the roof repairs. Yeah, it is just that they just go to that page and give a one-off gift. But I know that some churches have decided they don't want to have a Give a Little account and a Sum Up account. They just want to use the one-off gift function on the PGS. So they've registered with the PGS and keep it simple. So that is an option for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Somebody else had a question. Alison Gallant.
Hi. So with the Give a Little scheme, they obviously take that 20p from a £10 donation. They take 20p, but there'll be an additional fee from Stripe and Sum Up as well. So the £10 might end up being £9.60 if Sum Up or Stripe take a little bit more. Is that right? Is there two lots of fees?
It's a little bit confusing because Give a Little actually works in conjunction with Sum Up. So it's not Give a Little that's actually taking the fee. It's the Sum Up or the Stripe account that's taking the fee. It's just a bit confusing on that table. It makes it sound like it's Give a Little that's charging you for the fee.
So there will just be the one fee.
Yeah. It is just the donation goes straight to Stripe or Sum Up. They take the donation, the transaction fee from your donation before they then put it in your bank account. The only payment that you might have to make to Give a Little is if the Archbishop's Council stops subsidising the premium account. Now, the premium account gives you the gift aid function. If you wanted to have the gift aid function and the Archbishop's Council are not subsidising it after the end of this year, it would cost you £10 a month. Okay.
But the gift aid function, you still have to manually ask HMRC to send you the money. It doesn't automatically come to you like it does with the parish giving, does it?
Correct. That's spot on. You still have, it's a manual system. You have a report on the Give a Little dashboard that you can download. It tells you all of the donations that are eligible for gift aid, and then you would have to make a claim to HMRC. if somebody was giving to you through the one-off gift function in the PGS team claim the gift aid and they put that into your bank account. So that's a benefit of the PGS in that sense.
I might have been a bit thick as well. How do we promote PGS? Do we just put a link on
Well,
a weekly notice sheet or something?
I showed you a couple of posters there.
All right, yeah. Okay,
PGS, they've got lots of resources on that link that you can look at, posters. They've created Facebook posts as well that you can use your QR code to link people, or the URL to link people to your page online. So you can use that. Okay.
Thank you.
So Richard, I think Richard Pattinson.
Oh yeah, thank you. On the contactless machines that were given out back end of last year, earlier this year, the deal with SumUp that was agreed, I think nationally, is 1.1% or thereabouts. So obviously with this, it's, I think you said 1.9 with SumUp.
Yes.
Is that a problem when they're trying to, can you use the same account, or do you have to set up a separate SumUp account?
That's a good question. You don't have to set up a separate SumUp account. If you have a SumUp account that's been set up for your contactless device, you can use the same account, and you can actually use the Give a Little software that I showed you to create a screen for your contactless device. And you can use the same software to create the online giving page. So you use the—
Yeah, I think we've already got a screen that we set up for the
Give a Little for both contactless and the online page. But they charge a different transaction rate. So they charge 1.1% for your contactless transactions and 1.95% for the online transactions. So that is a little bit confusing why they do that, but that's why I introduced you to the Stripe account. The Stripe account is not the same as SumUp. The Stripe account only works with online giving pages. It doesn't work with contactless devices. So if you just wanted to get a better transaction rate for your online giving page, you could just have a Stripe account. Now it's 1.1%. But I recognize that you've then got a SumUp account and you've got a Stripe account and you've got a Give a Little account, and you might have a PGS account as well. It's all very confusing. It can be confusing, but that's how you can use them, you know, individually. Or as Barbara was saying, you could just go for a PGS one-off gift if you wanted, but it wouldn't allow you to create different campaigns. Does that answer your question? Excellent. Anne, Russell, I know that you said you have to go shortly. You didn't? Okay. Did anybody else want to ask any questions? Doug?
Something.
Can
you hear me?
Sorry. Alison?
Yeah. Yeah, just a couple of things. Just first off, on the contactless machine, the last speaker mentioned they'd been given out. Who were they? I know that some churches in our benefice have one, whereas we don't. So are we okay just sharing, or should we get our own?
Well, last year there was a special project across the diocese. It was through the National Church, and it's a project that's happening right across the Anglican Church. Every diocese is being given by the National Church a certain number of contactless devices, and we had our devices given to us last year by the National Church, and by an application process, we gave those devices out to churches free of charge, but churches had to apply for them, and we had over 100 applications. So you must have missed that information that came out last year about applying for a contactless device. So
well, within a group we've got sort of like several churches within the same benefice, so I guess we can just share.
Not necessarily.
Or not?
No. The churches have been given these contactless devices based on their application information that they gave us, and they have an account, you know, like the church has set
Right.
up a Give a Little account and a Sum Up account. So the money that is going through their account is going into their bank account. So unless you had a central bank account with these other churches, like if you were a multi-church parish, you couldn't really use the devices because they are meant for those churches, and we're monitoring how they're being used as well.
Okay, I'll check that with them.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
then if
I don't know your particular churches that that you're talking about.
Mm.
If you wanted to talk to me about it, what the possibilities are for the particular churches that you have in mind, we can have a chat about that separately and see what's possible.
Yeah, okay. And then my other question was just how long it takes, if you were setting up these things, is it you fill in the form and it's there up and running immediately, or does it take some time?
Well, you need to get your Give a Little account sorted out. That's quite easy to do. You have to set up your Sum Up account or your Stripe account. That takes a bit more time because because it's the banking side of things, you have to provide ID, you have to provide your bank account details. There's a bit more involved in that, but it doesn't take that long. It shouldn't take that long to set up an online giving page.
Yeah. And then is it, do you need to wait for someone to approve something, or is it just you've got to fill in the form? And
the Sum Up account, because that's the banking, the payment processor side, that is a little bit more complicated. You do have to fill in some forms and provide ID and provide bank details, and that would have to be approved as well before that went through, because that's where people are, they're making the donations and then the money is going into the account. So there are some security protocols around that, but it shouldn't take too long to set it up. It's more complicated setting up a contactless giving device than it is setting up your online giving page.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, so I think Doug.
Simple question. If people use this process through Give a Little and getting a QR code, etc., to make a donation, how does it show on a bank account? Does it come through anonymously, or do we get to know who's made the donation?
Well, on the Give a Little software that I showed you, there was along the top, there was like a reporting function.
Yes.
There were some other navigation tabs there. One of them said donors as well. So if somebody is donating and they're gift aiding, they will leave their details. Okay, so you can see who's left. If they're a gift aider, you will be able to see who the person is because you will be making the gift aid claim. If on the Give a Little software, when you set up your online giving page, you also have the option to include contact information. So people have the option to leave their contact details. So if you wanted to thank them, or if you wanted to send them details of events that were going on in the church, you could do so. But you can see who's left a donation. And that is, to get into your Give a Little account, you need a password. It is password protected. So it's not anybody that would be able to use the Give a Little account to see that information. So there is some controls over the security there.
So as I understand, there are ways, if they want to gift aid it, they've got to sign up with their name, etc.
Yes.
If they want to provide their name, otherwise they can, but they can give anonymously.
Yeah, I think they can give anonymously. Yeah, but they wouldn't be able to gift aid, obviously, if they were
I
giving
understand that.
anonymously. However, if through the parish giving scheme, there is the option for people to give anonymously, because it's the parish giving scheme team that are actually claiming the gift aid.
Yes.
That's always
Okay,
been the
very much.
benefit
That's
of the
fine.
PGS. Yeah. Okay. Any further questions? Alison.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to clarify for Doug. You were asking what you'd see on your bank statement. I have a couple of accounts where we've got sum up an account. So you would get just like once a week a total sum up amount of money into your bank account. So if you had 5 donations of £20, then over a few days, sum up don't send all the individual amounts to you, they collectively send a bulk amount to you. But you can log on to Sum Up or Stripe to get a breakdown of what that one amount on your bank account is made up from.
Right, thank you.
I think you can choose whether you want a daily payout from Sum Up or a weekly payout. You know, you could get a daily payout if you wanted, couldn't you? That's as well, yeah. Okay, any other questions? Is anybody interested in coming along to a digital clinic where I've done about 20 of these clinics where people have come along for an individual one-to-one session, and I've talked them through how to set up a contactless device or set up an online giving account or help to solve problems that they're having with their contactless devices. And it is worthwhile. I can spend more time in detail because I know doing a webinar there's a lot of information to take in. So, you know, if you are interested in a digital clinic or just booking a session with me so I can go through things one-to-one with you, please, you know, contact me or look out for the digital clinic dates that will come up in e-news shortly. Okay. Well, if that's all the questions, thank you very much indeed for coming along. I hope it was useful. I hope I didn't confuse you more. And tomorrow I will once I get the recording back, I will send you a link to the recording so you can watch that again. And also there will be a PDF of the presentation with all of the links contained within so that you can spend time looking at those step-by-step instructions that I was talking to you about. And if you've got any questions, just come back to me and ask. Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you very much indeed. And
Thank you.
I'll wish you good
Thank
night.
you.